Elon Musk companies are tanking in a recent poll, with Tesla and SpaceX showing steep declines in reputation rankings. And X, formerly Twitter, isn't doing very well either. Of course, Twitter was already a bit of a cesspool before Elon took it over, so the decline there is less pronounced than what we're seeing with Tesla and SpaceX. Ever since Elon became more vocally right-wing, and ever since he started donning the red hat of sycophants, and ever since his team of teenagers started hacking and dismantling government agencies and programs, Elon has predictably gotten a little bit less popular. And as a businessman who had tied his company's brand images to that of his own, when his popularity tanked, so did his businesses.
Let's say you're the head of a big car company, and then something happens to your car company. And it's not happening to all car companies. It's not happening to the car sector, right? In fact, it's not happening to any other car company at all. It's only happening to your car company, and it's not good. Headline, CNN, Tesla profits plunge. Headline, Washington Post, Tesla earnings plunge. Headline, New York Times, Tesla's 71% drop in profit. Headline, USA Today, Tesla profits fall 71%. Headline, Wall Street Journal, Tesla profit sinks. Headline, Reuters, Tesla sales skid. If you are the head of a company that is having a day like that, how do you spend that day? How do you spend that day that news breaks everywhere?
Now, the 2025 Axios Harris Poll 100 survey has dropped. The poll measures the public perception and reputations of the 100 most visible companies in the country. And the big takeaway regarding Elon Musk isn't just that his companies have such low rankings, it's that they have much, much lower rankings than they did before. So let's take a look. These charts look at Elon's companies over the past 10 years. You can see significant drops in both Tesla and SpaceX over the past year, and as I said, not much change over at X because it was already ranked pretty low. According to Axios, Tesla was in 8th place in the 2021 reputation ranking of America's 100 most visible companies, but last year it tumbled to 63rd, and now it's near the very bottom at 95th. It placed dead last in character, while placing near the bottom in areas like ethics and citizenship. So Tesla barely evaded the bottom 5. Similarly, SpaceX was ranked at number 5 on the list just 4 years ago in 2021, and today it has fallen to number 86. Just for fun, the top spots went to Trader Joe's, Patagonia, Microsoft, Toyota, and Costco, and the bottom spots went to Wells Fargo, Meta, X, the Trump Organization, and Spirit Airlines, all well-deserved spots, I'd say. While you might argue that this is all political and that it doesn't say much about the actual work that Elon's companies are doing, that's not entirely true. I know I've talked about the Cybertruck and declining Tesla sales in a recent video, but now Tesla is finally letting Tesla owners trade in their Cybertrucks after not letting them do so for about a year and a half. And even though Elon Musk actually said that his vehicles will appreciate over time, which makes absolutely no sense at all, we're now seeing that they're instead depreciating faster than other trucks. A couple of Cybertruck owners posted their trade-in offers online, and they were offered 34% and 39% of what they'd originally paid for the vehicles, even in one case where the vehicle only had 6,000 miles on it, and that's coming from Tesla. Carvana is valuing the vehicles roughly $8,000 less, and Car Guru has Cybertruck's depreciation at around 45%, which they say is closer to what Cybertruck owners should expect should they try to get rid of their vehicles. And maybe you could argue that this is a normal, expected depreciation rate for a vehicle. Well, even before these trade-in numbers came out, Tesla was already having a hard time moving product. The Ford F-150 Lightning has overtaken the Cybertruck to become the best-selling electric pickup in the country, and Tesla reportedly has thousands of unsold Cybertrucks sitting in inventory, some of them there for months. They've already paused production in the past, and they plan to do so again. So if Elon Musk had any doubts as to whether or not people like him, he now knows what so many of us have known for a long time, that he is not as beloved as he thinks he is. He's certainly not as beloved as he once was, and that, I think, is important to remember. that he was actually beloved at one point not long ago. In a shockingly effective personal branding campaign, Elon had established himself as a rebel billionaire, dare I say, the ethical or benevolent billionaire who actually wanted to use his billions of dollars for good. This guy was going to better humanity, preserve and protect the planet, save the space industry from the constant threat of government defunding. How ironic. And he was going to do it all by just being one of us. He wasn't some old curmudgeon. He was young, he was hip, he dated Hollywood starlets and pop stars. He was a genius, and the genius part justified the billionaire part. If anyone deserved wealth and acclaim, it would be a genius who was working hard on behalf of all of us. If anyone could be trusted to manage such astronomical wealth effectively, it would be a genius. Elon Musk was the promised genius that Steve Jobs had prophesied, the misfit, the crazy one, the troublemaker who was going to change the world for the better. But it was all a farce, because if we didn't know back then, we certainly know now that there is no such thing as an ethical or benevolent billionaire. One does not become a billionaire by being either ethical or benevolent. We believed it was possible because we wanted to believe it was possible. We were almost desperate to believe it because we had to believe that someone out there was on our side. Someone was looking out for us. But anyone who still believes that simply does not want to address the reality that billionaires lead subversive lifestyles that are disruptive to society in the worst ways imaginable. Move fast and break things has a much different connotation today than it did 15 years ago. Billionaires aren't charitable, they're the opposite. They're obsessive hoarders, and you simply cannot become a billionaire without also being a narcissist, without believing that you are entitled not just to the money and wealth that you've accumulated, but also to the power and authority you can buy with all of that wealth. But Elon is learning that despite live streaming his video game play, and despite spending all day on social media, and despite ripping bongs on Joe Rogan's podcast, people are finally starting to see what was always a thinly veiled facade. He is not relatable, and he never was. He's not a cool guy. He's desperately insecure. And while he tries to show us that he's just like us, or even just one of us, he also pulls public stunts that he thinks will make him appear edgy and wild. But those stunts are so detached from reality that they actually just reinforce the fact that everything he does is anti the people. Remember when he walked into Twitter HQ with a kitchen sink? Or how about that chainsaw that he was wielding at CPAC? You can't be of or for the people when you're showing the people that you're more than happy to fire them from their jobs and destroy their social platforms and defund their government. Elon Musk is Gavin Belson from Silicon Valley, the show, not the place. And while Gavin Belson has many quotable lines, the one that comes to my mind is when Gavin told his company's board with a completely straight face, "I don't want to live in a world where someone makes the world a better place better than we do." Gavin's character is meant to be a parody of tech billionaires, but the parody really isn't far from reality. Maybe when the show first came out, the parody was more effective in that it was more exaggerated, a more exaggerated version of the reality that we, the public, knew. But these days, our tech billionaires have leaned into the Gavin Belson model of billionaire. The billionaire who wants to do good because he wants credit for doing good, or because he believes that he alone can fix society, the planet, and perhaps even the future of humanity. Since he's a businessman and not a political leader, he's just doing capitalism, so it's not tyranny. However, it's not hard to imagine that had the show continued on, that Gavin would have gotten directly involved with the US government at some point. He already had extensive dealings with China. It's not hard to imagine because whenever you're playing with so much money and industry, the government is functionally just another department of your business that you, as a tech CEO, need to manage. And that's why we had a billionaires row at Trump's inauguration just a few months ago. The fact that we've elevated a real-life Gavin Belson to such an idolatrous status in our country says a lot about the things that we as a people value in our leaders and role models. Perhaps it's finally time that those values be revisited. All right, that's it for me. If you got anything out of this, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more. Thanks.